You have probably walked from a bright, hot street into an older stone or brick building and immediately noticed that the interior feels calmer and cooler. A common assumption is that old buildings are simply better insulated, or that thick walls automatically block heat the way modern insulation does. That assumption points in the right direction, but it is incomplete, because many old buildings are not highly insulated in the modern sense. So why do they often feel cooler during hot days? What role do thick walls, airflow, and materials play? And why can the same building feel cold in winter if it is not heated properly? A clear explanation comes from the difference between insulation and thermal mass, and from how buildings manage heat over time. The first misconception is that coolness always means heat is being blocked. Insulation works by slowing heat transfer. It traps air and reduces conduction. Many older buildings, especially those made of masonry, do not trap air the way modern insulated walls do. Instead, they often rely on thermal mass, meaning the ability of a material to absorb and store heat without changing temperature quickly. Stone, brick, and thick plaster have high thermal mass. When the outside air becomes hot in the afternoon, heat begins to move inward through the wall. But because the wall is thick and can absorb a lot of energy, the inner surface warms slowly. This creates a time delay. The hottest part of the day outside does not immediately become the hottest part inside. In many climates, by the time heat has traveled through the wall, the outside temperature may already be dropping in the evening, reducing the net heat gain. This effect is strongest when there is a large daily swing between day and night temperatures, and when nights are cooler. If the building can release stored heat overnight through ventilation, the walls start the next day relatively cool, ready to absorb heat again. Many older buildings were designed around this rhythm, with features like high ceilings, thick walls, shaded courtyards, and windows positioned for cross-ventilation. These choices do not create cool air, but they reduce how quickly indoor spaces track outdoor heat. Shading is another major factor. Older buildings often have deeper window recesses, smaller window openings, shutters, awnings, and architectural overhangs that limit direct solar gain. Sunlight entering through glass can heat a room quickly because light becomes heat when absorbed by interior surfaces. Reducing direct sun can make a space feel dramatically cooler, even if the outside air is hot. Air movement also changes comfort. Even if the indoor air temperature is not much lower, slower heat gain and gentle airflow can make a room feel cooler. Thick walls tend to stabilize temperature, and high ceilings allow warmer air to rise above the occupied zone. Materials like stone can also feel cool to the touch because they draw heat from your skin efficiently, which influences perception. There are important exceptions. In a humid climate with hot nights, thermal mass can work against comfort because the building may never fully release stored heat. In that case, the interior can become warm and stay warm. Also, in winter, a building with high thermal mass but low insulation can feel cold unless it is continuously heated, because heat can leak out steadily. Modern building design often combines insulation with thermal mass to get the benefits of both. The main idea is that many old buildings feel cooler in summer, not because they perfectly block heat, but because thick materials absorb heat slowly, delay indoor warming, and work with ventilation and shading to smooth temperature swings. This matters in everyday life because it clarifies what cool design actually means, and it suggests practical choices. like shading windows, using night ventilation when possible, and valuing materials that stabilize temperature. If you have other everyday comfort questions about homes, materials, or climate design, you can suggest them.